Yeah, Jungle Land, that was a highlight of my life. When I was in my teens, 16, when I could drive a car, I got a job at a place called Jungle Land in Thousand Oaks, California. It's not there anymore, it's a shopping mall, but that was where they actually did the original Tarzan movies, and they did a lot of contact animals. So when I say a contact animal, these are animals that you could actually get up close to, lions and tigers and things like that. So I got hired there to do to do a couple of the rides that they had, because they had some rides for the kids. And then they said, why don't you do the shows? So I got to be the stage announcer for the shows and also take tours around the park and show people different things. I don't know if you remember this, but years ago, well, you wouldn't remember because you weren't even born yet, but years ago, there was a really tragic incident that happened in California with Jane Mansfield's little boy, Zoltan. And I was there that day because I was there at Jungle Land, and that's where it happened. It was on the set where they used to shoot Tarzan, and the little boy had wandered off. I think he was 4, and he got too close to the lion, and the lion basically thought he was a toy and started guarding it. And you know, it's a long story, but he ended up losing his spleen, I think, from that incident. And they ultimately, the estate of Jane Mansfield, because she was killed several years later before this was settled, they sued and they won, and that pretty much tanked Jungle Land. But we used to take things down, alligators and swans and little jaguars and that sort of thing, down to, say, Let's Make a Deal, or to 9th Street West, I think it was called, with Sam Riddle. We would take these animals down to Hollywood, and we would actually take them on the set, and it was our responsibility to take them down, let them be on the set, and then bring them back. And I remember one time we did Let's Make a Deal, and the idea was, okay, so behind door number 3 is going to be a swan in a bathtub, which we thought, oh, that's great, that's great. Little did we realize that that swan also could fly. So we put the swan in the bathtub, and they opened up door number 3, you know, Monty Hall goes, and behind door number 3, oh look, you got a bathtub with a swan in it. All of a sudden the swan took off and flew up toward the audience. And so there were 2 of us, me and a guy named Jim McClellan, and we're up there chasing the swan on set for Let's Make a Deal. So that was one of the highlights of doing that job. But that taught me a lot about getting in front of people, and it taught me a lot about animals and how animals react. I did a film, I was the main actor in a film for Encyclopedia Britannica, and it was all about the story of a hedgehog. And so we went on the set because one of the movies we worked on at the time was the original Dr. Dolittle with Rex Harrison. The problem with Rex Harrison was he wasn't too crazy about animals, but it was Dr. Dolittle. So they had a father-son team there that were trainers, Stuart and Joe Raffel. Joe Raffel was the father, Stuart Raffel was the son, and they were animal trainers. And Joe Raffel had a mask of Rex Harrison, and he had to wear that and then dress up like Rex Harrison. And then he would have to do the stunts with the animals. Well, one of the things that they had to do was, when Rex Harrison came into the scene, he's riding a giraffe. Well, you know, giraffes are pretty tall. And so we spent a lot of time training that giraffe to let somebody ride it. And Joe got paid, I think, $100 a fall, something like that. He was thrown 17 times that day, which in the 1960s was a lot of money. He made $1,700 that day, but we didn't get the shot. So the next day he came back, and before they got the shot, he was thrown 7 more times. So he made a lot of money, $2,400 being thrown off a giraffe to film Dr. Dolittle. That interesting that movie was one of the highest priced movies in the history of making movies. This was in the 1960s, and I believe it was $19 million for that movie. So that's why, because I kept getting thrown off giraffes.